Hello, welcome everybody to the 56th episode, of the Friendlyjordies podcast. I'm Judith Lucy, and Alan Jones is away this week. So, as a little guest intro fun thing we're doing, Ben Lee is in the studio, and he's going to be playing for us Catch My Disease.
Is a secret compartment, and that's the way I like it. That's the way I fucking like it. Now dance like you've never danced before. Show us a wiggle of the girls. Go on.
Thank you so much to pedophile Ben Lee for being in the studio. Guys, it was a bit of a goof we did there.
That was a bit of fun, yeah.
Bit of fun we had. All right, we've actually got Ali in the studio.
Hey, what's going on?
Jordan,
Ben Lee, pedophile, has just left the studio.
He's got a trip to Thailand planned.
Tom,
hello,
who was doing Judith Lucy before. You might not have noticed, but that was actually it was good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's
yes, if the 3 episodes that he's already impersonated Judith Lucy is the only impersonation Tom is genuinely good at. Was it enough of a clue? There you go.
Yeah, so it was actually me.
It was actually
and
Tom.
Robbie's here as well.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 56 of the Friendlyjordies podcast.
So I've got a lot on today, so let's get Who Am I out of the way, because we should just get that out of the way. And
you reckon?
Yeah, I think
It's been lumbering around for many a month.
So we're playing the card game Who Am I, where we have picked somebody, a celebrity, and you have to try and work out who we are by asking questions on the Facebook page, and the most liked question we will answer. And this week
we have to address though, like the kind of you're going on a bit of the wrong path. We have to say, big ups to Samuel Troy for keeping this thing going. I know a lot of people are not liking this.
Tentative big ups. You were extremely cruel a few weeks ago. Made us feel like stopping it. But we powered on despite your cruel barbs, Samuel.
Exactly
also,
right.
Thanks for being a Patreon supporter. Really appreciate it, buddy.
And there's been a misconception that we are, in fact, a man. So we thought it would be a bit of a clue. So usually in this game, if people are struggling, which you guys clearly are, you give a big clue. So our big clue is we are not a man. So work the rest out from that.
Huge.
Yeah.
We've just wiped 3.5 billion people out.
Yeah, so we are not a man. I'm not going to say
why that wasn't the first question. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, you guys are truly inept at this. But anyway,
5,000 people who have never played 20 questions before. What are the chances?
What was the actual question?
They didn't even ask one. What they've done is they've all assumed that it's Leonardo DiCaprio, said, we hate this, continue on. Well, we're actually just going to barrel on through, and you guys are going to get this, and we're not going to stop it. So we're going to treat that as a question of, is this Leonardo DiCaprio?
And the answer is no.
It's not a man, you dumbasses.
It's not Leo. Sorry.
Yeah.
So there you
Good
go.
guess, though, under the circumstances. Despite the fact it wasn't a guess, he was just telling us to shut up.
Yeah, and you'd think as well, they thought it was Leo because we were unsure about the Oscar. And out of anyone in the world right now, if you could know who has an Oscar, you think that would be quite well known. Like, people that don't know anything about movies know that Leo has won an Oscar now, right? At that last Oscars.
Yes, I do remember you telling me that.
Or maybe it's just I think everyone knows this stuff, but
No, I think everyone knows now.
everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm out of the loop, sorry about that. Really bad example. I'm pretty much just one of those monks that lives in a temple by themselves that you meet in Morrowind every now and then, kill him and steal like a piece of wood.
Nothing on him.
So we've got Ali in the studio, and he's got, some fantastic tales, and we love hearing them. This week, there's one pertaining to the illegal street drug LSD.
So, Ali, tell us your story.
And also, okay, now I understand why you picked that piece of music. Sorry.
Yeah, the one and only time I tried it. First of all, it was one of the worst experiences of my life. It was literally the shittest thing I've ever done.
Sassy.
Felt pretty cool though, right? It's pretty cool though, right?
I don't think so, man. Yeah, there's a reason why I only did it once and never again.
Pretty much because you were in the worst suburb in Australia to be doing it. It's in Brisbane. It has the highest rate of incest in Australia. If you could think of a worse place to try a mind-expanding drug, I'd like to hear about it in the pod's comment section.
There is a reason why I was there, but okay. So the story starts off in Nimbin, where we actually went to get a bit of grass. Nothing biggie. But
by grass, you're referring to wacky backy,
The illegal
And
substance.
by wacky backy, you're referring to Mary Jane.
and by Mary Jane, Tom.
Come on, that was obviously
Weed.
for you.
Oh,
Weed is probably more used than marijuana.
Yeah, I'm trying to clarify what he's referring to.
That wasn't the impromptu game.
a bit of kush would have done better.
Weed is another it's another slang term.
It's fair enough. It is another.
It's a
phrase.
slang term for marijuana.
Yeah, but
Or cannabis.
it's like how nobody uses the term like phallus. Everyone uses penis, right? Like it's like that.
It was a joke, and we continued it, and now
And Tom ended it. You're
I
listening
ended
to
it.
a brand new segment called "Dropping the Ball with Tom."
That is so unfair. Ali, please.
Yeah, I'll carry on. Let's
you.
pretend that never happened. So yeah, we're in Nimbin, and it's me, my cousin, who lives around there, and my brother. And we get approached by this one dude who's saying, "Do you want some acid?" And my first response was like, "No, we're good." But then I got convinced by my brother, like, "Let's do it," because he's heard great things about it.
Okay, can I ask, how did he convince you? Can you remember?
It didn't take much to convince me, honestly, because I was quite curious in trying it as well. So he was just saying it's insanely good, and then I had a few friends.
On top of that, he was the older brother that used to hold you under the pool until you could barely breathe.
That is true.
So he does have a psychological clinch hold on you.
That did happen quite a few times.
Pretty messed up, Ali.
Fucked, man.
I know. Tell me about it. I grew up in that. So yeah,
I
that's
was hoping
why.
that'd be a light and cheerful, like little side note. But yeah, drowning's never fun.
Yeah,
But
it's so hard to-
the irony of it is that my brother the same brother actually saved me from drowning once. Legitimately.
Does one
I was gonna die.
does one right make a does one right correct a wrong?
No, but I'm really happy I'm alive.
So it clearly does correct it, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
See, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
saving
get the
someone
acid.
from drowning is better than making them almost drown. But pretty much, you have been waterboarded many times in your life. You have
Yes, I have.
experienced-
I have breathed in a huge load of water once as well.
You breathed in water.
Yeah.
Shit.
And,
that makes you
um,
drown.
On acid.
No. All right.
Oh, I'm getting confused. Sorry.
All right, so back to the story. So we were in Nimbin. So anyway, so we get 3 dabs or tabs or whatever they're called, and it's about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And we say that, all right, we don't have another day, so we've got to do this today. So my suggestion was, if you've been to Nimbin, it's like not only can you get drugs there, but it's actually a really nice place to do drugs. So I said, yeah, let's do it here. But my brother said, well, wherever we do it, we need to be really comfortable so that we don't get a bad trip.
So did you get?
Well, that was a genius move.
That
going
was
to
a-
the incest capital of Australia.
But the thing is, the incest capital is where my cousin lives. He lives there because his wife's a doctor, and that incest capital needs a lot of doctors. So he essentially lives in this one enclosure, which is
Try to
actually
determine, is that a foot or a hand?
I thought you were saying like he's a doctor. That's why. Like as in
Yeah.
doctors are
Yeah, that might be true as well.
incest. And
What? Because
Why do you think that doctors have a high rate of incest?
no, that's what I thought he was like saying initially. I was like, oh, that's a crazy assumption.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it was a classic miscommunication.
It's one of those misunderstanding sort of jokes. Anyway,
Yeah.
Ali, sorry.
Yeah, so we so basically my brother says that we need wherever we do it, we need to be really comfortable, and my cousin says, well, the best place where I would be comfortable would be near my house, so that we can basically just go back to the house if we are tensed or whatever. So I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't really know where he lived. And so he was saying there's a beach right by my house. I was kind of imagining Bondi, and I was like, yeah, this would be all right. We're doing it on the beach. We can walk to his house or something. It's going to be pretty good. So we head over to his neighborhood, and then we go onto this beach, and then we have like the tabs or whatever.
100 mil.
100
of
mil.
the good stuff.
I don't know what it was, but for like the first hour, I was basically just telling my brother that you're a useless asshole because this is not working. We just spent away like $70 each or whatever the amount was on pieces of cardboard.
You always know it's going to be a good trip, and that's the first hour.
Yeah.
This is the worst drug I've ever. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's always a classic.
Yeah. So for the next 2 hours, we were essentially just laughing. This was the best part of the trip. This was awesome. Then it was about 11 p.m. and I realized that there's literally no one around us on this beach. And I started to get a bit tense, and that's when my cousin tells me that, this is a horrible neighborhood. This is not the best place. That was the first time I found out that we're in a shit neighborhood.
Well, while all of you started tripping.
While all of us started tripping, like just at the beginning of the trip. And the first thing for some reason I said was like, if this is a really bad place, then we need to get home straight away. And
wow.
For some reason, everyone
sensible
agreed.
Even under the influence.
Not so sensible because we had driven there.
Oh my god.
So we need to drive back to our house tripping. And eventually, so we do that. Now, my brother's driving, and we're basically tripping and really paranoid because we're thinking, obviously, the cops are going to get us, and this is like a non-excusable, offense that we're doing. But we managed to do it. He drives in, and I don't know how the hell was he driving, but we managed to get to his house. Once we get to his house, the first thing we realized was that he never turned on the headlights. That was one. And so we get off. We get off and we're tripping, but at least we're a bit happy now that we've reached our destination. We go inside, but then we're not going to be just on tripping while sitting indoors. This is not how it works, and we're already really tense. So he says, all right, let's go for a walk. We'll go to a Hungry Jack's that's close by, and we'll get something to eat. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a plan. So we start walking. Now, my cousin's actually wearing a shirt that has lights on them, and it keeps on making the Superman sign with those LED lights, and it goes away. He wore that because he thought that would be good for the acid trip. So when he came back, he wore that, and then we completely forgot about it.
Why does your cousin dress like somebody who has a market stall at Paddy's Market?
Because he's a fucking idiot. That's why. But anyway, and we forgot about his shirt. So we started walking in like the shittiest neighborhood in Australia. And every car that goes by us starts screaming at us. I don't know why. I'm like, dude, this is the first time we've faced racism. All right, so this is what racism looks like. This is it. We finally discovered it. And we keep going, and then every car that goes by us literally just screams at us. And
like a scream or
like a scream.
A slur? Like were they saying words? At you
they
or
weren't
just
saying
screaming?
anything. They were just literally screaming. And then because we were on acid, we couldn't even make out what they were saying.
They're inbred, as if they know
They
English.
can't say words.
They're trying to swear, but their mouth muscles aren't refined enough.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to be friendly and they just have
That's
no
the
idea
thing.
what
But at
they're
that time,
But you're in the hills have eyes.
Yeah.
not the best neighborhood to be like cheering on fellow people walking at like 11 p.m. at night. So we walk all the way to the Hungry Jack's, and then they are not going to serve us because we don't have a car and it's only a drive-through. So there's like, and I'm really paranoid at this point. I feel that this is not the best thing that we're doing. People are literally screaming at us. This was the worst idea ever. And then, my cousin says, we've come here. We might as well just go to a Domino's that's close by. Like, do something. We need to do something while high. So we go into Domino's. I see about 8 people in there, really muscular, and I refuse to go in. For some reason, I don't know. This is a completely irrational thought, but I felt that I was going to get beaten up by all these guys. And then we get out, and then I can see that there's a highway right next to the Domino's, and then I can see there's a lot of police dudes there that are stopping cars, but they're letting them go. And I felt that all of those drivers were clearly drunk that were driving. And then later I found out from my cousin, they don't even stop drunk drivers there. They're just looking for weapons, because if they start arresting people based on drunk driving, they're going to have to arrest the whole community.
My God.
It's insane. And I'm really freaking out. And it's the worst thing. I literally just sit down in one corner and say that this was the worst thing that I have done. I need to get out of this place instantly. I need to go back to Sydney. That's what I was thinking at that point. I need to get my ass back to Sydney. And then, like, eventually we just go home, and then there's a few people that keep on screaming at us. Like, everyone is just screaming at us for no apparent reason. We get home, and then anyway, I just completely, I don't know what I'm doing. I try to get to sleep. It takes me a few hours, but I manage. When I get up, I try to recall what happened and how it, and then I realize something. They weren't being racist. They were screaming because he was wearing that LED light that had Superman on it, and it was really dark. So every car that was going by us was seeing that Superman logo and was just cheering us on. That's a cool shirt.
They were being nice.
God.
They were
It actually
being
is
nice.
the hills have eyes. They just can't. They don't have the intelligence to say a compliment.
Yeah.
All they can do is yell.
Maybe, like in to be fair, maybe they were complimenting it because we were I was so paranoid that I just felt that we're gonna get killed out here. I genuinely felt that I was gonna get killed because when I saw those, like, really, those guys that were driving drunk and the police not stopping them and just letting them go, that's when it sort of took me back to Pakistan.
Yeah, you realise you're like in a middle inner city Chicago suburb.
Yeah, and that was the weirdest experience, and I've never had LSD since. And
What does everyone sound like in this incest community? What's their voice?
I don't talk. I never had a conversation with one of them, to be fair.
It seems like they're incapable of it in the first place, so probably stupid question. They don't have an accent. Do chimps have accents from different communities?
That's an interesting question.
Is it all different?
Yeah, probably. I would say so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, well, cool story, Ali. Thank you for that.
That sounded really
Harrowing.
awful.
Intense.
Intense.
It wasn't
Yeah.
as bad as it seemed.
Have you
at
been
that
back
point.
to that particular area before?
No, I
since?
haven't.
Sorry?
Does he still live there, your cousin?
No, he doesn't live there anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God for that.
And your brother as well thought... So this is actually, wow, what a great community service for all the little kiddies out there. Because most of the time when you hear an LSD story, sorry to undo all of your good civil work, Ali, but yeah, no, you usually hear that it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But this one, yeah, no, it's a real footy player that has a minor conviction against him that has to do some community service by going to a bunch of primary schools and saying, think before you act, kid. Straight into one of those.
And now it's time.
Rise above and beat it, so we keep waiting on the world to change.
So this is a segment about how would you moderately change the world? And I'm guessing,
right.
Ali, I'm just going to shoot in the dark here. I reckon you might say don't do acid. Like that should be a
Get
rule.
rid of acid.
Get rid
Would
of
the world
acid.
be a better place?
Nah, I can't do that because I know every other human being that I've ever met has had a really good acid story. So I seem to be the exception. So I don't want to take it away
So
from
we won't be
everyone.
doing that.
All right, next up we've got...
Oh, come on, we've shot blank here.
Well, what do
We've
you
got
reckon?
nothing to offer from this.
I think I just want to get rid of all the mosquitoes in this world. I know that might screw things up a bit, like in the natural order, but I feel that it needs to be done.
I don't think that's moderate enough. I reckon that's like quite
That's
a
a
good...
huge
that's
change.
a big change.
That's world ending.
That's, yeah.
Well, how do you
World-saving,
know?
Rob.
Why? What's going to happen?
I reckon because you hear that about the bees, right? You get rid of bees.
No, but I'm saying
but
mosquitoes
bees aren't
in particular.
mosquitoes,
Yeah,
are
but
they?
you get rid of bees, the world ends. You get rid of mosquitoes, I'm going to guess the world's going to end.
Nah, man. There's so many extinct
So saith
species.
Robbie that because he wears glasses, thinks that he knows these kind of natural biological events.
They're both small and they both fly around and are annoying.
I suppose they do both have a humming sound as well.
does,
Yeah, no.
And
and one of them is just garnering instead of nectar blood.
One of them is
Vampire
and
bees.
malaria.
yeah, it's like a nighttime bee is a mosquito, isn't it?
yeah, you don't need them, man. Like
I suppose if you had to that'd be great if Robbie was in charge of deciding what the name of each animal is after it comes off the ark. You will be nighttime bees.
Well, they are. Anyway, so I reckon that would be world
If
ending.
you had to choose an animal to get rid of, you'd probably choose a mosquito or the white rhino because there's like two left.
Well, just put them out of your misery. That's your that's your theory.
Well, surely like they're not too important to an ecosystem. 'cause
that
they're
is like very smart. I like that.
Yeah.
actually.
if you were to get rid of an animal, come on, get rid of the most dangerous one of all. man.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Mountain
Clearly, we
lions.
need to go. Surely,
Yeah, I think
And
Robbie,
Robbie-
we're pretty bad. I suppose.
Nah, you can
local
go.
expert biologist refutes my claim. Claims that mountain lions are indeed the most dangerous animal.
Yeah, or would you change about the world if you could?
So I feel like you've got something you're itching to.
No. Yeah, I guess if I had to change the world very slightly, I might make.
We need to stress the moderation of this, by the way. Like the mosquito. I think if you can think of another one, Ali, that'd be good. Like I think it's
No, I'm keeping.
okay.
Yeah, we're talking about, say that this was a night out and you're drinking with your mates. You have a glass because you're on your fools. That's moderate.
Yeah. So yeah, I reckon something like every time you do a poo, it feels a little better than it already does. Would be great, right? Don't you think that would just make everyone a little bit happier?
I don't. Do you know
Everyone does
what? I'm going to refute that because I think that as we saw in The Incredibles, with that the evil villain's plan for the rest of the world was to make everyone a superhero, right? I think if everyone's poo was to feel better, it's like if everyone's super, no one is. You know, so like if everyone's feeling.
So you want one person to have a very good shit and everyone else to have diarrhea.
I just think everyone would feel a bit better with their day if they could look forward to that.
And we don't have any other poo experiences to compare with. Like, we only experience our own poos.
Yeah, let
So
everyone. be
everyone's going to be
superheroes.
happy.
Okay, maybe. I don't know.
It's always about poo with you, isn't it, Tom?
It interests me. Yeah. What about you, Jordan? What's yours?
It's actually about girlfriends that I thought, no, you're right, that would be a great minor change to the planet if dogs remained puppies and you could only buy them as a little bundle. So every time you came home, there was just a bunch of little baby dogs flopping over one another. You know how for some reason they're constantly walking and climbing over at the top of each other where they're in a confined space?
Exploring.
Yeah. If they just remained that naive and that cute and floppy for the rest of their lives. And then you just have 8 dead babies after 15 years.
Yeah,
So you don't get rid of the dead. You just keep them babies the whole time.
Just get a small dog.
really want to agree with you on this, but
Oh, it's not the same. Even small dogs after a while get that mangy... You know when a dog is after about 13 years old, you start seeing white at the top of its eyes. It's no longer fully brown. It just has this gross...
yeah, it's such a grey.
Chihuahua muchacho face.
Yeah, kind of like the look of an old dog, though.
I hate it.
Well, I don't think that most people do.
Really? Oh, okay. Interesting. No, yeah, I like. Yeah,
You would
wise
prefer
old
okay.
dog.
You would prefer a dog that's on death's door than a bunch of floppy puppies.
No, I'd like the floppy puppies, but I think there's a. Yeah, floppy puppies are nice, but so basically you want to miniaturize dogs, or you just want to buy it.
No, that's already been done. I want ones that just their bones haven't formed properly yet, so they're always weak.
And
kneed.
dogs will always be weak and just flopping around.
Yeah.
It's dogs.
Yeah,
Right.
And instead of barking, they make those tiny little yaps.
The old yelping sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can do any of these. Robbie, what's yours?
I would. I'd prefer if 7 News Australia had 2 million likes on Facebook.
Instead of what one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Let's
I
make
think
it
that's the
happen.
only one that's achievable here. Mosquitoes would be very good to do, probably for the world.
Yeah, I like that one. Although the world would end.
It wouldn't. Why would it end? Give me a good reason why it wouldn't.
I
It's
think
the bottom
2
of the
million
ecosystem.
I think 2 million likes is achievable. I think. I think.
Maybe that would end the world as well.
Yeah, the
There
7
would be
News
a lot of people would be getting their news from 7 News.
Yeah, what's worse for the world, getting rid of mosquitoes or getting 7 News to 2 million?
Surely there'd have to be a lot of political think tank experts, a lot of doctors, a lot of people that are very necessary for society sitting there going like, no way, Johnny Depp apologised to all of Australia with his hot girlfriend.
Hey, let's
Collective intelligence.
Yeah, let's not wait though, guys. Let's actually
Let's
do
act.
something
let's
about
act.
Waiting on the world.
Let's not wait. Let's not wait. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
into that. You know.
All right, Robbie.
Make sure that you put in the comments section a screenshot of you liking Channel 7 News.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please do.
Let's see if we can get 100 likes the day this pod is posted.
Yeah, please.
Because in the words of Confucius, every drop raises the ocean.
That's right. Okay, Robbie, can't believe it's art. Let's do it.
I can't believe it is art. And so basically, this is a recurring segment where every week
Where everybody insists that it should be called I Can't Believe It's Not Art, and Robbie stubbornly sticks to it. Should be I Can't Believe It Is, in capitals, art.
Yeah, I can't believe it is art. Because as
Very defensive about it.
well, as we came to the conclusion of 2 weeks in a row, memes are art. And I'm going to be delving into the various...
We never did. To any new listeners of the podcast, everybody disagrees with Robbie on this. Just need to get that record perfectly straight.
And what happened first week is I looked at an image, a meme image, and then the second week I looked at a story. It was a Tinder success story.
Text-based meme.
A text-based meme. This week...
That you were arguing was a form of poetry.
Yeah, sure. This week, what I'll be doing is I'll be doing sort of half-half, and there'll be a little sort of offshoot of this that will happen every week, where I was sent... I'll just give you a bit of backstory. I was sent an image by Sanjeet Dogra. He's a listener of the podcast.
Who, very creatively, has a display picture of a dog.
Isn't Sanjeet a girl?
I don't know. They've got a dog as the profile picture.
Yeah, but is the dog male
think
or
it might be
female,
a dog.
That's what we want to know. All right, what was the image of
Anyway.
Sanjeet's?
Well, no, so I'll get to that. So that can be like the story, poetry sort of element that will be recurring, because it's like a 30-day long story thing, like a diary entries for 30 days. But to start things off, I'll have a look at an image here of a meme, which has its roots similarly in romance. But actually this week it's not a text-based meme, it's an image meme. And so this week it's of... I showed Tom and Jordan earlier. It's of Jar Jar Binks. And what this one is doing is it's sort of subverting the just girly things memes.
Didn't you say that you were going to show us this fucked text that you got from 4chan?
Yeah, wasn't it the Mr. Rooster or something? That the thing you were reading for like an hour before we...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Saying that you were doing research.
No, so there are two bits to it. So I'm going to analyze an image meme for educational purposes, and then I'll do the story, and that, so like each week I'll analyze a meme and do the story.
Can we just cut the meme?
Yeah, let's
like
just go straight to the
describing a
story.
meme.
It's not describing. It's like it's educating.
Right. All right.
Describing
do it
just
in,
being
like,
a small
2
tool
sentences.
of the broad umbrella education.
So basically, this is a meme. It's got its roots in the early 2000s. Jar Jar Binks, a big figure of the early 2000s, the Star Wars movies. And so this is basically, it has an image of Jar Jar Binks peering around a corner with the text, "When Yusa catch a glimpse of Hisa bulge." And what that is referring to is it's sort of a bit it's not really romantic. It's actually sort of a bit vulgar, but it's when you see I think bulge is referring to somebody's maybe erect phallus or something along those lines. So it's using
But
Jar
you could
Jar.
only guess with your strictly Christian upbringing.
So it's sort of using Jar Jar Binks in a very derogatory way there. I don't totally agree with its use here, although it does sort of aid in a kind of humorous juxtaposition there. And then below here we've got another one, which is Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the hero of this meme, Jar Jar Binks. And it's them in a forest, and the text is setting up a threesome with Hisa and he cute friendo, and it's just Jar Jar things. And so what's that? And so what that's referring to is like I suppose a sort of a threesome scenario, or maybe like a sexual encounter with the three of them. And so there's a very like a low culture element to these, with the high culture of Star Wars.
High culture of Star Wars.
And the way
You've been
Star
done
Wars
here.
episode 1.
I'd appreciate it
You've
if,
fallen on your ass.
I would appreciate it if I could just please let me finish this education.
No.
And
This is awful. I hate this.
look, No.
This is not education. It's a stupid joke.
No. So
Just
look,
read the story. Read the next one.
and so it's interesting to look at Jar Jar Binks.
It's not. It's not fucking interesting.
What's interesting about it is the fact that it's coming back into popular culture now. People are recognizing that, in fact, he was a Sith Lord. In fact, he wasn't a mistake of George Lucas. In fact, he wasn't a highly racist, very low comedic character. That
Highly racist. How is he racist?
There was a bit of a backdrop of is he black or is he not?
Jar Jar.
Well,
Yeah.
George Lucas.
Oh, does he have like a Jamaican feel or something like me? So, like, what's he meant to be?
He's
He's an alien, right?
Ahmed Best rejected the allegations, saying that Jar Jar has nothing to do with the Caribbean.
Okay.
So it's not racist, and he is a Sith Lord, and he's highly important to the franchise. And I think it would be a mistake for George Lucas or J.J. Abrams to not bring him back in the subsequent films.
I think he will probably.
I hope so. But
All right. Well, let's hear the story. Great meme.
but yeah. So that's art. That's what we call art.
Maybe. Okay.
Tom, clearly not agreeing, but agreeing just to move the train right along.
So this is the story. This is from 4chan as well, by the way. So
So we're getting deeper down the rabbit hole.
yeah, people have sent in some truly disturbing things. So thanks for that.
And this is to desensitize the whole audience to taking that brave step into 4chan, because after that, the only place to go on the net before you go into the deep net is bestgore.com. So we're really lurking at the depth. This is where, if the internet were the ocean, we'd be amidst along the lines of where viperfish live.
We're slowly
low.
weaning you on to like
Yes.
the darkest parts of the internet.
And what a place for it to be, because we really are in the habitat of the blobfish, because this is ugly.
Yeah, next thing we know, we'll be on White Wolves, that site where you can hire a hitman and pay them through Bitcoin to have someone killed. But we'll get to that. Let's go 4chan.
Who are we going to get them to kill?
Who do we? Yeah.
Jamie Lynn Spears? It's just having
It costs a lot, though. Celebrities cost a bit more.
I'm not saying you can't get it done.
Yeah, I've looked at the price structure. It costs like 1 million Bitcoins and you can get the president killed.
It doesn't seem like that much for such a huge
I
league.
know. Why not just...
That's all right.
Surely some crowdfunding
Reasonable.
campaign could easily raise that kind of money. Anyway, probably.
So, again, this text-based meme as sent in by Sanjeet Dogra has its roots in romance, but it's then been warped by a truly evil autistic mind. It seems. We've got. It says, "Gather round, fag lords, for a story you will remember. I am a kissless faggot virgin that no girl wants, turned supervillain.
What's kissless?
Call me Catfish Man."
Never had a kiss.
I think never been kissed, I think is what he's saying.
Right, very obvious. Sorry about that.
So this is day one, and there are many days here. Set up Catfish account. Some girl messages me within 2 minutes. Reply, I'm not one for online chit-chat. Let's meet up for a coffee, dear. Smiley face. She fucking accepts. Tell her to go to the zoo. I'll meet you by the monkeys. 20 minutes after I said I'd be there, she texts, where are you? I am a monkey. He responds. She never texts back. So that's just the first. That's the first example of these and they progressively get more involved and more warped, and so we can look forward to those, and that is.
And I am looking forward to them. I am however, looking forward to you describing visual memes on the radio anymore. And so I'd highly appreciate everybody in the comments section to post pictures of Robbie as a male porn star with a particularly long schlong, if you never want that to be seen again. Preferably from the old site monstercock.com.
Okay, so now we're going to go on to group Who Am I? Oh, have we sorted this at all?
God. Why? This is all right. So every week for the past couple of weeks, what's happened is on the radio show and the podcast. I don't know how, but I've wanted to do this very badly, and each time we've just run out of time. Now we've got plenty of time, and we just haven't organised it. It's just a hilarious mistake.
We might have to move on.
We might. I think we actually.
I think we have to. Okay, so Ali, African heartland, France. Let's do it.
Damn it.
Let's do it.
What do you reckon?
So Ali's here.
Wait, one sec. Ali's African heartland, France, this week.
So every week we try and learn a bit about the world. Ali will come and tell us about Africa, but in every
Reality,
week
he
besides
normally
once.
tells us about the Middle East, but now we've gotten tired of that place. Now we're moving to Europe. He's told us one country from Africa, and we intend to keep it that way. Next week's going to be South Korea, for God's sake.
Okay, so what do we know? What do we want to know about France?
Tell us about the political system, because I used to have a housemate in South Korea who was French, and he was saying, "Jaden, the politics of France are so left. Even the right-wing party there is pretty much socialist."
Okay, that friend of yours represents a certain section of France. So France, he's actually sort of right. That's a reaction to most of the... they're really moderates. Moderates with social leftist policies.
So it's a nation of Obamas. Everybody
Yeah.
in the parliament
Yeah.
is Hillary Clinton.
That's right. But there is resurgence of neo-fascist parties, actually. So really right-wing.
Is that to do with all the like Islamic kind of ghetto, like the Paris attacks, and there's
yeah.
this kind of
Reaction to
counter
that.
to that? Yeah.
It's that, but it's also like it's even before the Paris attacks, European immigration policy, they've just reached a point where they need to like reconsider how they're going, which is sort of not really good for already the immigrants that are there.
What do you reckon about fascism? From worst to best, where would you put it in terms of government?
In terms
A fascist
of just,
government.
like,
Where would you rate that?
in terms of just like governing,
Yeah.
they do it all right.
What's
You reckon a fascist state is pretty good?
rank
No,
it,
in terms
Ali.
of how they govern things, they're pretty authoritarian, which means that they can get a lot of shit done.
So what's the best? Go like 1 to 5.
I would rate it 1 to 5.
As in like number 1, fascism. Number 2, next
Yes.
communism.
Oh,
Last week we were
shit, okay.
disparaging BuzzFeed for 15 minutes straight. This week we've stolen their
five.
recipe. Ali, give us your top 5.
Okay, top 5. Fascism would probably be number 5. It has to be on the list. I mean, come on. Second one, number 4. Probably Soviet-style communism.
So 5, sorry, this is the worst? 5 worst to best? Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
worst
we're
to best.
All right.
He does not think fascism is the best form of government. He's-
Look at him. What does that mean, Jordan?
Yeah, I would get
Yeah,
killed.
look at
Lace
him, man.
beard.
Yeah, he's got a
No
beard.
fascist has that kind of beard.
Yeah, I would
fair
get
enough.
killed instantly in a fascist.
So number 5, fascism. Number 4,
5, fascism.
Soviet communism.
Soviet communism. In fact, no. Number 4, pre-70s Chinese communism. Mr. Mao has to get a special mention.
I love this.
He's got it ready to go.
So number 4, Chinese communism. Number 3, Soviet communism.
Nice.
Number 4, number 2, American capitalism.
Ooh,
that's a controversial one, yeah.
What do you mean it's not number 1, Ali?
It's shit.
What?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Why is it number 2 though?
Because it's slightly better than Soviet communism.
Number 1, French.
Slightly.
No, it's not slightly. It's a bit better, but still, it's not good enough. You're not going to get me to put that on number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah, this is his list, guys. Show
Number
him some
1.
respect.
Number 1. What is it?
Number 1, a capitalist system with a heart of socialism.
Right. So does that mean...
So he pretty much agrees with everybody who's listening to this podcast
Yeah,
right
pretty
now.
much. Unfortunately.
So what do you mean a heart of
This
socialism?
really was a BuzzFeed list, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's exactly what
Yeah.
I expected from the title.
Yeah, pandering to the audience. Exactly what I need. So what's a heart of socialism?
A heart of socialism. So I think Paul Keating described himself as that, Jordan Tinty.
Yep.
Just like, well, what did he
He's
say?
the man. He said that in the 80s, the world was experiencing neoliberal changes, and these were inevitable, but you needed the transition with a Labour heart. And that proved to be correct. In the future, we prospered enormously because of Paul Keating's economic guiding throughout that rough transition period.
So does that mean like you've got a capitalist model, but you apply tariffs and things like that to try and like regulate?
No, you get rid of tariffs. That's the neoliberal part.
Yeah, that's
What you keep, though, is spending on healthcare, education. You put certain restrictions on the free market. It's putting dams in front of a flowing river.
Okay, let me give you an example of this. So,
Does that exist anywhere right now?
no.
You're sitting in it, mate.
Yeah,
Welcome
Australia
to
is
Australia.
one of them.
Right. So, and America doesn't have that. It's like just completely. It's not like that.
Well, it's not completely
It's not
capitalism.
completely capitalist. I don't think any place is completely capitalist, but they're way.
I don't know,
further.
man. Caribbean. Apparently, it's like super capitalist. But anyway,
I'll give you an example.
how great
where-
is that? The guys with steel drums and board shorts, that'd be their biggest export, would be like mangoes, right? That place is extremely capitalist for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
And Jar Jar Binks accusations.
Yeah. That is true.
Is a huge export of theirs. Yeah. In the export of the idea sector.
Yeah. Jar Jar Binks.
Dubai is pretty capitalist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We'd be cool to do one on Dubai. Because they
Yeah.
didn't just.
Can we do that, Ali? Can we do one on
Now?
Dubai?
No,
not
let's
now,
stick with
but
France.
Like, no,
Yeah,
we'll
no.
keep with France, but like eventually.
Even though Dubai does sound much more interesting, we're going to give you the less interesting option. Vive la France!
Vive la France. Let me delve into France myself. Okay, so France is so they've always fought with the Germans, that we all know throughout history. Didn't like each other. After World War II, if you remember, Hitler invaded France. And the French actually lost. So it was like it's something.
Ali's history lessons for kindies.
Kindies. No, but that plays a really important role in how they formed themselves afterwards. So when eventually France got liberated by the Western forces, France just was in a really it was in a situation where they were just really paranoid about Germans again. And they didn't want to give them. So here's one of the examples. So they were one of the forerunners that said that Germany should not be allowed to, rebuild a military. In fact, have a military at all. And during the initial period, everyone was game for it. So England and America were saying, okay, fine.
Do you think that's fair enough?
I don't know, because it was inevitable. Like, it was going to happen. Because it did happen later on. Eventually, because of the Soviet threat and Stalin, Americans and British were saying, all right, Germany is not an issue. We're going to let them arm themselves. And then France at that point was like, no, this is not going to happen. This is not, I don't care. This is not happening.
Do they have a military now?
Yeah, they have it.
Right.
It's not like a massive one, but it's still good. And they're part of NATO and everything. So France, basically, that's when they decided. They had this. They had a leader. His name was de Gaulle, who is considered a legend, at least in the foreign policy area. So France wasn't in a good position. They had lost out. They were considered the losers of the whole thing. They didn't have much international power, but they wanted to go back to their, the old French glory, that sort of like the dying days of Napoleon and everything. So they actually did something that's really interesting, which is they came up with really innovative ways to make themselves heard on an international platform. And de Gaulle was one of those people that did that. They also managed to build a nuclear bomb. Now, a lot of people think that they built a nuclear bomb because they were obviously allies of America and they want to do that. They didn't do it because of America. They did it in spite of America. Nobody wanted France to have a nuclear weapon, but they did it because they were paranoid about the Germans. And they just wanted to, and since then they've been on this recovery mode throughout. And now coming back to the socialist point thing, so France, like many of these Western European countries, they did have like a welfare state. The reason, this is my personal opinion, but the reason why I think,
love this conspiracy
theory. The reason why I think that they had welfare state and America didn't was because communism was taking a hold and people were getting these crazy ideas that the government could work for us, and they were really afraid of the unrest that could cause. So they decided to give in. They said that we'll make a welfare state so that there is no revolution of communism. So it wasn't as nice as it seems. Like they wanted to bring people in. It was more like they were afraid that there's going to be...
It's like a compromise.
Yeah, it was a compromise. And it was great because it helped so many people in Europe because the welfare state is pretty good.
Brings a whole new meaning to the phrase. In America, they experienced the same thing, but they called it a New Deal.
A new
So it seems
deal.
like the
yeah.
government did just say to the people, like, all right, how about this?
yeah, here's the deal.
Pretty much, yeah. That was the new
Here's how
deal.
it's going to play.
That was the new deal. And anyway, so after Soviet Union collapsed, the communist threat wasn't there, and that's when you can finally see all of these neoliberal policies that Jordan was talking about. So, like, getting rid of tariffs, deregulating the economy so that as much money can be made, but it only like made a few people really rich, and most people didn't really benefit from it. But that's when all of this came in, and because there wasn't a Soviet threat or a threat of communist revolution, it took over. Now, most of these politicians in Europe, if you think about it, they call them, even the current president of France, François Hollande, is a socialist. But they're all economic moderates, like Keating was, for instance. Because what they say and what Keating was, like you mentioned, the neoliberal thing is inevitable, so they do it, but they're socially socialistic. So they'll talk about like gay rights and the usual socialist agendas, which is why your friend was saying that they're really socialist. But in terms of their economy, they're moving downwards, and which is why they've been socially so progressive, which I think is a good thing. But it sort of had a backlash in Europe, where there's these neo-fascist organizations that are taking over. A lot of this was helped by the recession as well, where they just didn't have money and they kept on talking about
They have like a Clive Palmer-like character there that's just a joke in France.
Yeah.
His daughter is the one that's running in the most recent election, I think. But he used to have a patch and used to come on air and say, "I lost my eye in the Second World War to a German bayonet." Turns out that was complete rubbish. He like banged it on a desk or something. Like during World War II. I think he was just like a lawyer or something.
Right, yeah. Sounds way better.
But there's a new okay, this is maybe something that's interesting. So France is sort of now going away from America in a sense. There was this whole I don't know if you guys remember this, but during the Iraq invasion of America, France didn't actually support that. So there was a lot of right-wingers in America that were pissed off at France, and they tried to rename French fries to Freedom Fries.
That's
Do you
right.
remember
Yes,
that?
I do.
That happened as well. Same sort of things are happening now. So after the Paris attacks, especially, the French authorities were just like, all right, we need to take out ISIS. This is not on at all, understandably. America, on the other hand, had their own views on how to do it because they had already done Afghanistan and Iraq, so they're a bit cautious of how they're doing it. Russia, on the other hand, was just saying like, no, we're going to bomb them. So France sort of formed this weird, alliance with Russia.
Wow.
Even though they're part of the Western Bloc. So, for instance, America is apprehensive of Russian Navy in the Red Sea, but France is selling quite a few armored ships to Russia.
Really?
And I know this sounds like really controversial, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it, and this is absolutely true. I guess France, on the other hand, I think are doing it primarily for the money, because they just want more money, and these things cost much. They know it's a good deal, but they're still doing it. They wouldn't have done that before, which I think is a new, interesting twist in terms of where France is heading.
How do they fit in with the EU and the
So
formation
yeah,
of
okay,
that?
that's the other part. EU, you can kind of say that EU was France's brainchild. So that's the way they look at EU is that. So America is one big bloc, right? This one big power. China can potentially be another big power. Russia is is sort of like, it can assume the role of a big power. France cannot do that by themselves. So France and countries like England say, well, we need to form an EU. This will give us way more voice than we can do individually. And France primarily realizes that if EU forms, we're sort of the de facto heads of this. Even though Germany has taken over now, but France at least thinks of themselves as, we're going to be the guys calling the shot. And sure, we'll consult Germany and England. England isn't completely part of the EU, so they still have their own currency, so they have little less say. In fact, England is actually having a referendum soon on whether they want to be a part of the EU or not. Which I think they'll still be. I might be wrong, but I think they'll still stick on. But either way, France wants that EU to be there because it gives them a huge consumer base to sell things without tariffs, and it gives them way more power in the international arena. If you say, I'm French and we want this to happen, you're probably going to get overruled. If you say, well, the European Union is saying this, they're going to have to listen to you.
Yeah, because together, would they be like the largest like entity?
No, they wouldn't be. They would be able to at least compete with America. America's 300 million. Europe, like collectively, is quite a few people, but these individual countries.
Yeah,
and China is 1 billion. So
yeah, I don't mean population. I mean because I
in
never
terms of economic clout.
Yeah.
In terms of population matters as well. The reason why America is so big is because there are 300 million people. The more people you have, the more people are going to buy your stuff. The more people are going to buy your stuff, the more money you have. So population in a weird sense. Obviously, if you've got a population, let's say like India, which is a lot of people that are untapped, that's obviously not useful. In fact, that's a hassle because you have to, in the economic point of view, it's a hassle because you have to take care of all these people that are not contributing to the economy. So you just let them be. They eventually form their militias. You go and bomb them a couple of times. And it's that population is obviously not helping.
Like China or something.
Yeah, and China is 1 billion, but they're
similar.
They're getting better because they're. I think we did another pod on China where I was saying that how they've gotten like 400 to 500 million people out of poverty. That's good, not just because they're out of poverty, but because they can now buy things.
Yeah, right. So
that gives them a lot of power. Yeah.
So, just before we wrap this up, you know, everybody always says, why does France still have a bloody Security Council vote? They can veto.
Yeah.
France shouldn't be allowed. They've been being superpower since even before UN bloody started.
Yeah. That's
the
actually
general
really
gist of, and very accurate portrayal of how people sound that have a very, very complicated argument that I barely understand about international affairs.
So does veto work where if one country vetoes the entire, like they just...
The motion's not going to pass. So the International Security Council has like 5 people. All those 5 people, like 5 states, those 5 states have the authority to veto anything.
So is that like the Israel-Palestine stuff the US will just always veto?
Always veto it.
Right.
So US would always veto it, which is why Israel is not part of they don't need it. They have America that's going to look out for them. A lot of countries do that. They find their sort of back. Like Pakistan, for instance, has China. So anything that Pakistan wants, the China will say, yeah, we'll veto it if you want it. France, it's interesting because France was actually one of those countries where they were debating, do they deserve a permanent seat? And to be fair, maybe at that point they didn't. But the way they projected themselves internationally, they were given props. So they were like, all right, fine. Because they were a big power once, people thought that they're going to again become huge. And in a sense, it did happen. It was sort of... thank you for being on the right side during the war, in a sense.
It's like a sympathy vote.
Yeah.
It's pretty Hunger Gamesy that most of their economy is driven from luxury fashion, like Versace and stuff. I don't know, they might be Italian. You know, the richest woman there is rich because she owns a lot of expensive handbag brands. Very odd that is a country that is up there with the top 5 powers, that what they say goes, this secret council.
Yeah. It's sort of, the Security Council is getting a bit obsolete now because, so for example, they would let France in. Now, the other interesting thing was they let China in, but because of the communist revolution in China, do you know Taiwan was actually the Security Council?
Yes, technically the head. And I still agree with America to this very day.
Yeah.
That was the head.
What?
That's where the Chinese royal family went to. That was still the head.
Yeah, but like their country was gone. That was ridiculous. And eventually they changed it in the 70s because it was ridiculous having Taiwan be the permanent member and not the mainland China.
Yeah.
So is Taiwan no longer the primary member?
No, they're not. So they changed it. After Nixon went to China and they opened up the relationship.
Breaking news for Tom. Something that happened nearly 50 years ago.
So what? So like Taiwan want their independence.
No, so
China...
basically what happened was there was a civil war in China, right? There were the nationalists and then there were the communists. They were fighting each other. Then World War II happened. Japan invaded. They got together, got rid of, help or whatever. Japan lost. And then the communists won the civil war, so they took over China. Now the nationalists, which were also the elites, they ran away to Taiwan, which is close to China, and they said this is the real China now. And because America didn't like communism and they were against Cold War, they said, all right, yes, we agree, Taiwan is the real China. But that was ridiculous because Taiwan was not the real China. Right. There was 800 to 700 million people just off the coast living in another place that is the real China.
And with the Taiwanese people saying like, this isn't China, this is Taiwan.
Taiwan.
No. They were saying, because obviously they would say that this is China. Being a really small place, they still got to be the permanent member of the Security Council. They weren't complaining about this at all.
Because apparently now it's like Taiwan, like because China's on the Security Council, so they and Taiwan's like, can someone say that we're a country? And China's just like, no, you're not a country.
Yeah, because China considers Taiwan to be still part of China. They say that that you ran away, but this
You're
is
China.
also part of China. And just because you're saying that this is a different country, we're not going to agree. Americans and Westerners obviously say that what happened has happened.
Guys, look. He's doing Tom Bombadil. That's awesome. He that's actually crazy. Do you want to come in?
My God.
Look, he's doing. Can we get him in here?
Okay.
That is absolutely insane. All right.
I knew you were up to something.
All right.
Walking in there, yeah, he definitely did.
Oh,
Because he
you-
walked into the other studio, Studio A. He said that he came in with some jacks. He was obviously having a bit of a chuckle for way too long with this guy. Comes in and does his usual, like, very
I had
serious,
set up a
very
thing.
serious smile of, no, that's not what's happening.
I'd set up a thing where I was going to have him try and like react in a way that we didn't want him to react in, to try and prompt a better response. But
He just
But then
did
we
it. He
decided
just
not to
mooned
do
us. So
Because here's what I wanted. Tom flat refused. Okay, Tom is named after the fictional character by J.R.R. Tolkien, Tom Bombadil. I thought it'd be a hilarious play on words. Yes, Robbie, we've been through this while you've been in the studio. I think I've mentioned it 3 or 4 times.
is that true?
For God's sakes, get with it.
yeah, my mum's a big Lord of the Rings fan. Also, Tom was the most common name the year I was born. But yeah, Tom Bombadil.
So she just wanted to ride that wave.
yeah, bit of both.
Did she know about it? Here we go. I think is he coming in?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, she rode the wave.
Yeah,
So-
here he is. So Tommy. So Tom spoke to Tommy. So Tommy was in Studio A just then, who gave us a moon, right? So
Finished his shift, very professional.
Yeah.
The whole way through, I remained professional.
Speaking to the mic, please.
The whole way through
Not only to end that
the actual
winning
broadcast.
streak right now.
Yeah, the whole way through the actual broadcast on air, I remained professional, and then I just felt a bit silly towards the end of it.
He's got a bit of. Oh, it just felt like a bit of a joke.
I've been locked
Feeling
in
a
the
little
studio
bit
for 3 hours.
cheeky.
We've been exposed, Tommy. It's not a secret anymore.
Thank you, Tommy,
We decided
for
to
your
get rid
obvious
of the
bullshit
idea.
input.
So, yeah, thank you for defending that.
How did your peers find out about our prank?
Just then, by you doing that.
I ruined everything.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
then Jordan
funny.
just deduced that potentially that was the case, and then I think we all came to the conclusion that that probably was the case. And so then I asked you to come in here, and now you've confirmed that that was in fact the case.
That was in fact the case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was
well,
good.
yeah. So thanks for that.
No, like,
So sorry. Are we still friends?
I guess, yeah.
That's Tommy.
We're better
from,
friends now.
Thanks
We've seen
to
so
Tommy from FBI Radio.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy.
So, my idea was that Tom stands on the standing mic, pulls down his pants because his name's Tom and he's named after Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil. He moons the person that's at FBI in Studio A just by happen chance. He knows the guy that's that's doing it.
Happenstance.
Happenstance. You've been done, man. You get away with it.
Oh, who's the fool?
All right.
All the plans, all of them, just unravelled, haven't they?
All right. Should we quickly do? All right. So this is Goosebumps, Robbie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Are you sure no one says happen
no, it's
chance?
They could actually. I don't know.
No, we're doing now Dick or Douche.
Oh, you're right. Okay. So
It's a very long podcast, but okay.
should we just skip Dick or Douche?
No, we can just have it like a quick. We'll just do a
All right.
quick.
Can you work out the difference between a
We'll just
dick?
put no effort into it and see how it goes, and then just put it out to the world.
Yeah. Or a douche. What's the difference? So, give a celebrity example. Let's give an example to the audience and see what they reckon.
So we reckon that Kanye West
Drake.
is a douche.
Yes.
Drake's
Yeah.
a douche.
I think Kanye's a dick.
You think Kanye's a dick?
Yeah.
As do I. I changed my vote.
Yeah,
Oh,
I sort of agree with that as well. Kanye is a dick.
Okay, then. All right.
Kanye's
Drake's
a dick.
douche.
Sean Penn.
You're on
Yeah,
your
Drake's
own,
a
Robbie.
douchebag. Yeah, Drake would be a douche.
I thought we had just come to that conclusion, but that's fine. I don't really mind either way. He's a dick.
How about we just do rapid fire and you have to say which is which, if you had to say.
Okay.
Joe Rogan.
Douche.
And dick.
Both.
He's both, isn't he?
Nah, he's a douche.
He's a
not
wanker. Which I suppose is another form of a douche.
What do you
It
reckon?
seems that if you're just an erect penis, you're a mean person. But as soon as that erect penis is somehow stimulated,
By a douche, for instance. Lubricated by a douche.
not its design, but I suppose it's the product with a
could do
million
that.
sexual uses. Douches.
Sean Penn.
Douche.
Clear douche.
Sorry.
Not even negotiable.
Yeah, that's it.
Has to be a douche.
Okay.
What about Delta Goodrum?
Ooh. Douche.
She is a female douche.
Yeah.
Which you shouldn't even say female to a douche.
'Cause a
what
douche is
man
used often.
uses a douche?
Well, gay men use douches as well.
Do they?
Yeah. I think
right.
it's a joint thing.
But we were saying, what would we... What
And any healthy man should probably use a douche to keep themselves clean.
So should we prefer to be a dick or a douche? Is
Yeah,
it-
what would you rather?
Douche, definitely. I don't want to be a dick.
I've been called a dick a lot, so I think I'm probably a dick.
You got called a prick this morning.
Yeah, why do people think you're a dick?
Who by?
When we were scootering to FBI, you yelled at a man saying, "Get out of my way," as though you couldn't brake. And as you were going past, he goes, "Prick." And then you were like, "I'm sorry, I was joking." And he goes, "I'm sorry."
No. I thought it was, I'd just go, "Get out of my way," like it was a zany thing, and then he just goes, "Sorry."
No, he said prick.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yes,
confused
because
about. Why would he say
Clearly
sorry?
were being a prick in that situation. You are a dick. You're an actual dick.
A prick.
Who does that?
Well, if we had to
A
say...
douche would
If we
do
had
it.
to say,
A douche would do that. You're not a dick. You're a douche.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. What are you, Jordan?
yeah, if he did it with the intent of actually trying to hit this guy, like couldn't care less, he's a dick.
Yeah.
But because he did it as a gag, he's a douche.
Yeah, I
My
think that's
point
fair.
exactly. Yeah.
Really good
Funny
point.
gag. It's just a funny gag.
That's
I
why
wasn't
you're a
meaning to-
douche.
Yeah, but you're a
douchey
douche
gag.
gag.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Just
Look,
face facts.
it wasn't. I don't think it was a good joke, but you trying that made
pretty
you a
funny.
douche.
It flies in the face of a lot of people in my life. I mean, my mum has said countless times, "You're a dick."
Your mum says that
Are you
to
calling
you?
my mum an idiot?
Yeah, what do you call my mum, an idiot?
Yeah, but when she's angry, she calls you a dick. If you talk to her like when she's happy and ask her what you are, she's probably going to say you're a douchebag. You're not a dick.
What would you rather be, Robbie?
I don't really care. They're both the same, aren't they?
No, that's the whole point of this segment.
You're right, actually, but I don't mind.
So quick to jump back.
No, they're both the same to me. No, they're not. That's the
No,
point.
that's yeah. Once again,
No, look. What are you, Jordan?
I'm clearly a dick. There's no two ways about this.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, thanks for
yeah, I think you'd have to say it too.
There we go. For my two best friends in the world. Tom and Ali.
Well, you're expecting no, Jordan, you're neither of those. Yeah. Robbie is a douche, but
It
you're
would have
nothing.
been nice.
I'm not going to play this exercise if I have to do it to you.
Yeah, so I think we've all just got this from unanimous agreement. You've heard it from the horse's mouth and the two horses right next to him in his stable. Jordan's a dick. What do you think you are, Tom?
A douche, probably.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This.
easily a douche. Ali, what are you?
I think I'm a dick.
I think we're all dicks, and you're a douche, Tom.
I don't think Ali's.
Or maybe I am a douche. I don't know.
Well, if I had to choose something, I would probably. I wouldn't want to be a dick. I'd much rather be a douche. But I think I am a dick.
No. Oh, maybe.
I'm probably not a dick to you, but I can be a dick. I'll be honest.
Right.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, you
Maybe,
can definitely
yeah.
tell if somebody's a douche or not, primarily by how relaxed they are. Dicks by nature are stiff.
Yeah, that's
How
true.
it works. Don't you think there is an
Yeah,
element
that's
of that?
actually true.
Definitely.
Well, you're a douche to me,
is
Ali.
like wildery. It go with the flow.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, actually.
Yeah.
you
That's what this segment's all about.
We're learning.
Exploration.
Yeah. All right.
So Ali, Dick, Jordan, Dick,
Dick. 3 dicks and a douche.
3 dicks and a douche.
That's it.
what that sitcom would have been if the internet were popular back then, but television for some reason still had the same viewership, even though internet culture was what it was then. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I was just...
Yeah, neither can I. I can't be bothered. That's
Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
Okay, so
actually, that's a good segue. That's why I put this segment here, because it's a good segue to Goosebumps, which is...
As usual, not at Robbie's fingertips. And now he's going through several files on his computer that gets worse and worse. And he does not have the money to replace it, and that's why we're in this situation here, padding.
Goosebumps, no story, just scary. So last week what we did is we asked you, the audience, do you want Jordan to lay an egg so that he can live out his dream of being a jackass comedic hero?
Nobody agreed to it.
Except for Ben Zeri.
And the only reason was out of pure laziness, which says a lot from a man who once came into this studio at, I think, 7 a.m. in the morning. just so Robbie he forgot the segment was on. He was going to give him the dragon tears in the old days for old listeners when we used to always refer to Robbie as a golden dragon. Now, usually we refer to him as a soiled mop. So, huge downgrade.
change, isn't it?
Let's see how far we've
Still
come.
a dragon at
Matchbox
heart, though.
20.
Right,
Anyway, yeah. So and the other option,
Dragon at heart, mop on the outside.
and the other option that Jordan is very much for is we measure our boys, which is basically we measure our penises both flaccid and erect.
It wasn't just me; it was everybody, including Ben Zeri, who couldn't be bothered to Photoshop a ruler saying "you rule." So instead, he just put up a picture of Crumb. Extremely lazy. Highly reprimand. Particularly Ben Zeri. The rest of you, great work.
Ali, what do you reckon? Would you prefer to see Jordan lay an egg or to see or hear the size of our penises?
Keep in mind what they mean by lay an egg, Ali, is me putting an egg up my poop chute and then just pooping it out.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
What?
That would make
Just kind of like just on the inside of your sphincter and then just like pooing it out.
Yeah, like
poo.
Yeah,
like
okay. We know you would like it,
a little
you
poo.
feco-philiac.
It's not a poo, it's a egg.
Just a little jackass poo stunt.
So close. It's stage poo.
Little chocolate poo. Yeah.
Your favorite jackass stunt is the shit volcano, right? This is a chance for you to live out your dream.
Yeah, we're trying to help you out. Yeah, we're doing you a favour. I don't know why you're against this.
My favourite segment of Jackass is when the party boy gets his penis bitten by a snake.
Oh, really?
That's my number one.
Really?
The shit
thought it was the
volcano
shit
is a
volcano.
distant second, and I highly recommend everybody look up the shit volcano first. It is a delight to send that to your girlfriend. Tom, report back next week. That's the mission. Just show KJ the shit volcano, please.
Without any pre-context and just see what she thinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure that you hide the bar at the bottom where it says shit volcano. Just show that. Just see what her reaction is.
Okay, I'll try it out. But yeah, so anyway, we are going to be measuring our penises, I guess. Is that right?
Well, potentially, but what we do think is we think it's weird that you guys are pining for this, right? So we want to...
Even though we did give you the option, and the other option was even grosser. You people are sick.
We want
Too
to,
enthusiastic.
yeah, we really want to turn this this enthusiasm into like fever pitch public display, right? So
Yeah.
so
So
what Jordan had
momentum
an
to
idea.
madness.
So what we need is someone to upload a video, and we need to see their eyes when they ask us, beg us to show, for us to tell them the size of our penises. And only then will we do it.
Yes, purely because this is going to be a huge moment of the pod. History in the making. We are going to be making a radio tag that really sets up what is going to be the lowest point ever.
Yeah, so we need
of the
sound
podcast.
bites. Yeah.
Yes. So we need people going, hi, this is Justin from Toowoomba. Hello, this is Brad from Queensland. All in a build-up being like, they all demanded it at the beginning of it.
Yeah, then saying, and they got it, and then we do it.
Yeah, so basically what would we like them to say? We'd like you to say your name, where you're from, and that you'd love to hear the size of
Please.
Jordan,
Yeah,
Tom, and
yeah.
Robbie's penises.
Can you go to jail for mass sexual harassment? This is pretty much what this is.
We'll find out.
Just like everyone. If we were saying that in that same voice of going, look,
If Ben Lee was doing it, yeah.
You to beg. We want you to pick.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't. You all right? But can I just
On the record.
We need to clarify here that like this is all Jordan's idea.
Yeah, Jordan has been insisting.
That last part was
on this.
Robbie's. I called my on this. I wanted to just get it out of the way and measure it today. Robbie's the one that's held our corners hostage. See how quickly friendship just separates.
Over this.
I don't look. It's clear that I don't want to. Like, I don't want to do it. But like,
Yeah, I don't want to do it either. But
yeah.
No, I don't want to either. But like, you know,
you do.
you really do want to.
And
He wanted
I
to
think I'll be
earlier.
pleasantly surprised. That's
He was
why.
saying that we should all take photos of our penises, and then if one of us calls the other one out for lying, we have to just show them the penis.
Well, how else are you going to prove it? You could just say whatever. You could just say it's the size of a ruler. Who cares?
Yeah, you could.
But you added it. You added a weird
What's
dimension
the
to
point?
it.
But it's just a bit odd that you just like. It's just. Oh, I know. How about just for a bit of evidence, we just also take photos of ourselves? on the
Oh,
show?
it was not said coyly.
As if I said like,
Convenient.
oh yeah, so I'm 5.5 inches or something like that, and then you just be like liar, and then like I just have to show you the photo. It's just like obviously that's a worse thing to do is just show you an erect penis.
Shut up, Tom. All week you've been saying, every time I say, so we're going to go into the other room and then we're going to measure our penises. You change that with, so we're going to measure each other's penises? No, we're not measuring each other's penises, Tom. We're going to measure
funnier.
For God's sake, we're all guilty about this. Can we stop? Look, can't you see that this game's torn us apart?
I can't believe this. What? Yeah. All right. But we are not going to do it unless there's like just an overwhelming
Demand.
like public display of weirdness from you guys.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be guilty and on the crime.
Yeah.
It's like when Saddam Hussein went in and shot half the Ba'ath Party and made the other half do it. Everybody's got to be in.
If there's one dissenter, it's not happening. All right.
So that's
Is
the
that
pod.
it?
That's episode 56.
Yep.
That's a weird note to end on, isn't it? Yeah.
This is such an odd podcast. How did this happen? That like half of it is discussing the political stance of France. And then the other half is, no, but you said you like measure each other's penises.
Yeah, I don't know. Just nudity is just it's being ramped up. I feel lately.
Well, we started off doing the stunts of like, Jordan sort of drank a cup with Tom spit in it, these sorts of things. But I feel like this is
I had
surely
that
like a
chocolate
low.
between my ass.
Chocolate
for
between
thing,
the
and
arse.
Jordan ate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I don't know which one's lower. But we're going to find out next week with the help of you guys.
Thanks to Ali for being here.
No problems.
Okay, Jordan.
See ya.
Thank you.
Tom, and I'm Robbie, and we'll see you later. Episode 56 of the Friendlyjordies podcast.